better. He's not happy at all. That's the type of athlete that Chris Blair is. He wants to go out and dominate his opponent every time, and when he doesn't do that, he's upset about it. Even though he got the win, he's not happy with how he did.
But his 2-1 win gives the Mavericks, cuts into the team score. Central Oklahoma now leads by a score of 10-6. And we've seen another match where penalty points have really come into play. Let's move up 158 pounds.
Well,
the Mavericks.
There's been a lot of stalling calls tonight. And I think that's just a matter of, these teams are so evenly matched that neither one of the wrestlers wants to go out and make a mistake to give up a big point, give up big points or a big move, and so these guys are just, being very strategic in their actions.
Dan Lovell, a sophomore out of Marshalltown, Iowa, for the Mavericks, is up against Matt Surber, a junior from Chickasha, Oklahoma.
And Matt Surber coming out and wasting no time, going to work, getting a quick high crotch takedown on Dan Lovell. These two also met at the national duel. Surber, I believe, won the match by 1 point over Dan Lovell. So this is another one of those matches that I said is very critical tonight. Could go either way. In fact, both of these wrestlers are both 26-8 in their records. So somebody's going to have a better record after this match.
For a moment, you talk about edge points. I thought Lovell might get a reversal, but or at least an escape, and it didn't happen. They just ran out of room.
Surber, I think the Broncos had expected him to wrestle down at 142 pounds this year, and he's moved up all the way to 158.
That's a big change, isn't it?
That's a big change.
Major change.
The one thing about there's a lot of different styles from the lighter weights to the middle weights and all the way into the heavyweights. They all each have their own different style of wrestling. And it can be tough to move up 2 or 3 weight classes in 1 year.
Lovell gets a 1-point escape, so it's 2-1. Surber of Central Oklahoma. And the Broncos lead the Mavericks 10-6 here in team scoring with less than 2 minutes to go here in this opening period. This is probably the most active first period we've had tonight, although...
Oh!
Man.
Surber tries that high crotch again. Lovell just... stuffed him. I don't know what else you could call it, but almost. It's too bad they were on the edge there because that could have been a big move for Dan Lovell of the Mavericks. Both of these wrestlers also transferred in from other schools. Matt Surber transferred from Southern Illinois at Edwardsville, another Division II wrestling power.
Yes.
Where he was actually an NCAA qualifier for the Southern Illinois team. Nice single leg attack by Surber. Got the leg up real high on Lovell. Lovell doing everything he can to get out of bounds on that.
That was a good move by Lovell because I think he was in trouble.
He was in big trouble.
Yeah,
your foot's up on the opponent's shoulder. You're in trouble.
Doesn't take much to flip you over from there.
He had one arm on him.
Dan Lovell, he's a transfer, wrestled over at Iowa State University for 3 years before transferring over here to UNO, and another wrestling powerhouse, Iowa State University in Ames.
Well, ISU and Iowa, they fill the arena every time they get together.
Again, a lot of action over there on the edge. No points scored. Surber still holding on to a 2-1 lead, but he by far has been the aggressor here in this match. Again, he's in on a good single leg takedown attempt here. Lovell able to fight it off. Lovell, a very solid wrestler. He's been a real pleasant surprise for the Mavericks this year with a 26-8 record. He's placed at every tournament they've gone to. Could actually be the #1 seed going into the conference tournament. He's beat every other 158-pounder in the conference so far.
And again, we talk about seeding. That's so important because of the way the brackets run. 2-1 lead, Surber, with 4 seconds to go in this period, and I think they're just going to let it run out. Nope, they're out of bounds. They're going to have to finish these last 2.
2 seconds, guys.
So a long first period, a lot of action, not much scoring. Lovell's choice, he defers to Surber. Surber's going to take the down position like we talked about earlier. Again, I hate to keep mentioning this, both of these wrestlers state champs in high school.
There's nothing wrong with that. We've got some great matchups, talented athletes. I mean, they worked hard to get there, and they should be proud of their accomplishments.
Take him down, Red.
Again, we're out on the edge again. We've seen that all night as well.
We got a warning here.
A warning against Lovell. He needs to, if your opponent, you're on the top position, your opponent gets up to his feet, you've got to make an attempt to bring him back down to the mat. If you just stand there and hang on, they're going to get you for stalling.
Red, you got warned there.
And you hear Pasali telling Lovell about the warning. And we've mentioned before, we've seen it in 2 matches already where stalling penalty points have made a difference in the final outcome.
Corner skate.
Lovell didn't feel he was didn't want to waste a lot more time riding him, so he let him go, giving up a free point basically. It makes the score 3-1 in favor of Surber with about minute 20 left in the second period.
The Mavericks going to have to start scoring some team points here now. I mean, we're getting down to the point. We're midway through this duel.
Well, like we talked in the opening, we knew Central Oklahoma was going to jump out to a lead early.
Right.
Fortunately, they haven't jumped out to a big lead. It is still within reach for the Mavericks to come back, and we are coming into the meat of their lineup.
2-point takedown for Surber, and that makes it 5-1 now, Surber's favor. Still to come, though, especially when you look at it for the Mavericks. Corey Royal, Pat Kelly III. There have been a lot of Pat Kellys coming through Maverick, the Maverick program, and then Jerry Corner, the heavyweight out of Wichita, Kansas.
A lot of Pat Kellys have been All-Americans for
That's
you.
true. That's right. Can't tell them without a scorecard. We talked about all the great wrestlers UNO has produced. You just need a scorecard for all the Pat Kellys that Mike Denny's coach.
You think it's hard to follow. What do you think these other coaches think? They think this guy's, how's he been wrestling for 7 or 8 years? This guy's got to be out of eligibility.
Yeah, you know, that would be about a half a minute to go in this period. Surber with a 5-2 lead now over Lovell. And the Broncos lead at 10-6 over the Mavericks on the scoreboard. And the team scoring.
I know coming into the, obviously Coach Denny's got a lot of faith in his last 3 wrestlers, but it's got to pretty much be at least within 10 points,
right?
For them to even have a chance. Again, when you get to this caliber, there's another takedown for Surber as the time runs out on the second period. That extends his lead to 7-2. But it's, at this level, you can't expect your guys to go out and get pins. You can expect them to get a win,
right,
but you can't definitely count on them to get a pin.
Yeah, well, as we said, we're in the middle of this duel, and it's getting to the point now where the Mavericks can't fall behind anymore in the team scoring. And Lovell decides to take that bandage off his nose as we head into the final 2 minutes. And it seems so long. That first period seems so long, and that second period went by, boom.
Good crowd on hand tonight to see these 2 great teams match up. A lot of young wrestlers in the crowd. I know earlier tonight they had a little kids dual meet on the other side of the arena with Westside Wrestling Club, and a lot of their kids and parents have stuck around to watch this match and look up to some of these guys as their idols, maybe some of these guys, and hope that one day they can be out in this position.
A lot of people would think, why with a big duel like this would you sponsor or allow a youth meet in the same building? That's great marketing strategy, boy. I mean, you're right. The kids stuck around, and this is a big college duel, as we talked about. And kids are going to stick around and watch this. Parents are going to see this. And that's how programs like both of these stay successful year after year.
That's right. And it's good for those kids to come out here and watch this. There's nothing better than to watch some of the best wrestlers in the country go at it in order to learn some things and pick some things up. I see a whole wrestling team from the KWAA wrestling squad up there in uniform. They got a big tournament coming up, I know, March 2nd and 3rd out at Millard West that they wanted me to get a plug for. And
well, you did it. That's a good job, Coach.
I'll send them a bill.
Millard West, that could be a story in itself. Brand new high school, and they're not wasting any time trying to put together an athletic program.
It's a real nice school. They've got real nice facilities, make it attractive for the kids to want to go to school there as well.
Boy, you know you're getting old. I came to town. There was one Millard High School when I got
went
here,
to school. There was one Millard High School. That really makes me feel old. People ask me, well, which Millard did you go to? The Millard.
Yeah. 44 seconds to go in the period. 7-3 lead for Surber over Dan Lovell of UNO.
Lovell taking a shot there almost looked a little bit out of desperation with only 30 seconds left here to go in the match. Riding time's not a factor here. Surber holding on to a 7-3 lead. Again, like we said, Central Oklahoma kind of expected to jump out to an early lead here. I don't know if Coach Denny was, I'm sure he wasn't thinking it was going to be this big of a lead. But unless something drastic changes here, Surber's going to hold on to the victory. He gets another takedown to extend his lead to 9-3. He'll still end up with just
1 point.
1 point escape for Lovell. And there's 1 tick left on the clock. Nothing will probably happen in that. Surber's going to hold on to a 9-4 lead. Another 3-point team victory for the Broncos. They extend their lead now to 13-6 over the Mavericks.
Match, guys. Match.
Coming into the 100, we're in the second half of the lineup now at 167 pounds.
This is the first 2-point takedown in this match here, RJ.
Like I said, Surber wasted no time coming out right away and taking Lovell down right. I mean, that was like in the first 10, 15 seconds of the